Howdy guys, it's Don't Drone Me Bro, and I'm here with the lightweight, well he's still kinda, BCM mid-length, 16-inch. So, we have to start from the front with the changes. So, up front, what you see here, oh, by the way, this thing is unloaded, no mag. I'm not going to cycle the bolts, just, obviously, I'm tired of that crap. In any case, yeah, that's a Surefire G2X Tactical, because that's more awesome than the Pro, whatever. But it's the 200 lumen, you click it for momentary only, or you turn it for constant on. And I got these when BCM had them for, I think they were like 52 or 56 bucks. So pretty cheap. The new version is 320 lumens and it's like 66 bucks, but it was out of stock basically everywhere. So I got this instead. I used to have the Inforce WML, the Haley Strategic momentary only version, but I had an issue with it where the light would flicker off if the gun was angled, basically anywhere but aft. So basically the gun would be angled like that, and it would work, but like that, no. So I sent it back to Inforce. It was during a holiday, I think it was MLK Day, and not to mention they were getting hammered by snowstorms in Rhode Island, but they sent it back in pretty good time, but they sent back a different version. Well, same version, I guess all their new lights are 200 lumen, but it's a different color. I know that's trivial, but if I paid for one thing, I expect to get the same thing back. And it seems like that issue that I had, which was with the pressure pad, among other things, and that flickering on and off was a common issue with those Haley Strategic versions, so whatever. I mean, the light is nice, but having just only a sweet spot where the actual pressure pad worked on the tail was a problem. And the cone of light was actually very narrow. It was very bright for being 200 lumens, but your hot spot was relatively small, and your area surrounding it was very small. However, with this Surefire, which normally is a pocket light, it's kind of big for a pocket light, but I'm a big dude, so it works. It has a much wider throw, which I really like. Going aft, you may also remember I had an Aimpoint micro. It was the R1 and a black I/O cover, and it was on a American Defense Manufacturing mount. Well, the micro is an amazing sight. That window is like really tiny. And I know you're not supposed to search for the dot. You let the dot find you or some crap like that. But you know what? I don't mind a little magnification to actually see what I'm shooting at, because putting a 4 MOA dot on a target that at 100 yards or a little past that is basically the same size. It just really doesn't work very well for me. So this is not a true one power on the low end optic. It's the Leupold VX-R Patrol. We'll pick this bad boy up. Just gonna focus here. Okay, maybe a little bit, but it's a nice optic. It does have a daylight visible illuminated dot. It's what they call the fire dot reticle. So it's I think it's about a third of an MOA dot. It's a tiny, tiny dot, but it gets very bright. There are multiple settings. You adjust it by using the button here on the side, which I know seems kind of dumb, but it actually works pretty well. It flashes when you get to an extreme, so when you're at the lowest power setting, or actually the highest, that's what I've noticed, and then you start going back down, which it works for me. As soon as you turn it off, it remembers what setting you had it on, so when you turn it back on, it goes back to that setting. After you leave it sitting for 5 minutes, it'll turn itself off, but as soon as you move the rifle, it'll turn back on. Originally, I was not too thrilled with the idea of target turrets, but these actually, it takes a little bit of, you definitely just, they don't move on their own very easily, even in my regular case, so I'm actually okay with them now, and I like it. The optics clarity is really good. It's not the top of the line, you know, like a Mark 6 or something from Leupold, but it definitely compares favorably with, especially like a Burris MTAC. It's much better. I think it's better than that. Not to mention the Vortex Viper PST. Some people may disagree just because of the not having 1 power on the low end, but it is what it is. The field of view is smaller on the lowest power setting just because it's not a 1 power or a 1.1 or something like that. Like I said, it's 1.25, but I really don't notice it if I'm moving around a little bit. Even up close, it's not too terrible. 4 power, you have, I think it's like 29 feet is your field of view at 100 yards or 100 meters. Pretty nice. And it's a mil reticle. It's not going to show up on the video, so I'm not even going to bother trying to show it. Aside from that, I switched up to an H buffer. I tried this upper on a buddy's Daniel Defense slower that had an H buffer, or I'm sorry, H2 buffer. And it worked pretty well. I use 5.56 pressure ammo, so there's no, I don't really worry about using cheap steel case shit, so it is what it is. Aside from that, very happy with this gun. Still, I think having the light back on it definitely helps. It almost seemed too lightweight at one point. It moved a little too much, which hopefully the H buffer and having a slightly larger light on the forend will probably help with that. Oh, and by the way, my cheap ass is not using some sort of $70 or more light mount. Guess what I'm using? These are actually a 1-inch, or it is a 1-inch weaver ring. It works. And it's torqued down and everything, but it's better than shoving out all kinds of stupid money for a mount. I mean, seriously. Why do these mounts cost so much? Like the impact weapons components cost like $30, and it's just a little 2-ounce thing of aluminum, and it's not even that much machining, so they can't even claim that. These cost $15, and I didn't even have to pay for them. My local gun shop gave them to me for free because they're awesome. Burdett & Son in College Station, Texas. Look them up. Awesome people. Aside from that, oh yeah, Leupold IMS 2 is the mount. Don't really need a QD mount. Screw it. But that's it. Thanks, and gig 'em.